before Naruto Uzumaki became one of the greatest ninjas in history, before he became the 7th Hokage, before millions of people around the world called him a legend, he was just a lonely child. A child who wanted one simple thing: to be noticed, to be accepted, to have someone believe in him. Naruto's story is not special because he was born powerful. In fact, his journey began with rejection. He was the person everyone avoided, the person people judged without knowing his heart. And that is exactly why millions of fans connected with him. Because Naruto represented something very real: the feeling of being alone, the feeling of being underestimated, and the desire to prove that you matter. The boy everyone feared. Naruto grew up in the Hidden Leaf Village carrying a burden he never chose. Inside him was the nine-tailed fox, a powerful creature responsible for a tragedy that happened years before. Because of this, many villagers looked at Naruto differently. They did not see a child. They saw a danger. They saw the past. They judged him for something that was not his fault. And for a young Naruto, this created a painful childhood. He had no parents. He had no family guiding him. He had no one telling him that he was special. Instead, he was surrounded by people who wanted distance from him. Why fans connected with Naruto? The reason Naruto became so loved is because his pain felt human. Not everyone has experienced a situation like Naruto's, but almost everyone understands what it feels like to be ignored, to feel like nobody understands you, to work hard while people still doubt you. Naruto's dream of becoming Hokage was not only about power. It was about recognition. He wanted the village to finally look at him and say, "You matter." That emotional journey is what made people support him. Fans were not only watching a ninja trying to become stronger. They were watching a person trying to find his place in the world. Naruto was not a perfect hero. One of the biggest reasons Naruto became memorable was because he was not perfect. He was loud. He made mistakes. He failed many times. Other students were naturally talented, while Naruto struggled with basic techniques. People laughed at him. They underestimated him. But Naruto had something more important than talent. He had determination. Every failure became another reason to continue. Every person who doubted him became another reason to work harder. The beginning of a legend. At the start of his journey, almost nobody believed Naruto could become great. But Naruto believed in himself. Even when others saw a problem, he saw an opportunity. Even when others gave up, he kept moving. And slowly, the same people who ignored him started noticing him. The same people who doubted him started respecting him. Because Naruto showed something powerful. A person's beginning does not decide their ending. Naruto started as a lonely child who only wanted acceptance. But his journey was just beginning. Because the biggest reason people love Naruto is not that he became powerful. It is how he became powerful. Through failure. Through pain. Through never giving up. Most heroes are born with natural talent. They are chosen. They are gifted. They have something special that makes them different from everyone else. But Naruto Uzumaki was different. He was not the smartest student. He was not the most talented ninja. He was not the person everyone expected to succeed. In fact, many people believed he would fail. But Naruto had something that talent alone could never replace. The ability to keep moving forward. No matter how many times he fell. No matter how many people doubted him. No matter how impossible the situation looked. Naruto refused to give up. And that became the greatest power he ever had. The boy who failed again and again. When Naruto entered the Ninja Academy, he struggled more than almost anyone else. Simple techniques that others learned easily were difficult for him. His mistakes became a reason for people to laugh. Many students saw him as a failure. But Naruto saw things differently. Every failure was not the end. It was another chance to improve. While others focused on his weaknesses, Naruto focused on becoming better. This mindset separated him from everyone else. Because Naruto understood something important. A person does not become strong because they never fail. A person becomes strong because they refuse to stay down. The importance of hard work. Naruto's journey showed fans that success is not always about being naturally gifted. Some characters were born with incredible abilities. Some had famous families. Some had advantages from the beginning. Naruto had none of that. What he had was determination. He trained harder. He pushed himself further. He continued even when progress was slow. And slowly, the person everyone underestimated started surprising everyone. His improvement was not instant. It was earned. That made his victories feel more meaningful. Because fans knew how much effort was behind every achievement. Naruto and his dream of becoming Hokage. Many people thought Naruto wanted to become Hokage only because he wanted power. But that was never the true reason. The Hokage represented something much deeper. Respect. Acceptance. Belonging. Naruto wanted to become someone the entire village could trust. Someone people looked up to. Someone who protected others. His dream came from the pain of being ignored. He wanted to prove that even someone who started with nothing could achieve something great. And that message connected with millions of fans, turning pain into strength. One of the most powerful parts of Naruto's story was how he handled pain. Throughout his life, Naruto experienced loneliness. He experienced rejection. He experienced loss. But instead of allowing that pain to make him cruel, he used it as motivation. Many people who suffer become angry at the world. But Naruto chose a different path. He chose to understand others. He chose kindness. He chose to protect people who were also suffering. That choice became one of the biggest reasons fans admired him. Naruto's impact on others. Another reason Naruto became special was because he did not only change himself. He changed everyone around him. People who once had hatred in their hearts began seeing things differently because of Naruto. He showed enemies compassion. He gave hope to people who had lost it. He proved that someone's past does not have to control their future. Naruto's greatest victories were not only the battles he won. They were the hearts he changed. Why fans love his determination. The reason millions of people connect with Naruto is because his journey reflects real life. Everyone faces challenges. Everyone experiences moments of doubt. Everyone has times when giving up feels easier. Naruto reminds people that struggles do not mean the end of the story. They can become the reason someone grows stronger. His message is simple. Keep trying. Keep believing. Keep moving forward. Naruto became powerful because he never allowed failure to define him. The same people who laughed at him eventually respected him. The same people who ignored him eventually believed in him. But Naruto's greatest challenge was not becoming stronger. It was learning how to use that strength to change the world around him. Because the true reason people love Naruto is not just his journey from weakness to power. It is the way he inspired everyone around him. Naruto Uzumaki's greatest achievement was never just becoming stronger. It was never just learning powerful techniques. It was never just defeating powerful enemies. The true reason Naruto became a legend was because he changed people. He reached hearts that nobody else could reach. He gave hope to people who had already lost it. And he proved that understanding someone can be more powerful than defeating them. In a world filled with hatred, revenge, and endless conflicts, Naruto chose something different. He chose compassion. And that choice changed everything. The ninja who changed enemies into friends. Throughout his journey, Naruto faced many people who wanted to hurt him. Some saw him as an enemy. Some wanted revenge. Some had completely lost their faith in humanity. But Naruto never looked at people only by their actions. He looked deeper. He wanted to understand their pain. Because Naruto knew what loneliness felt like. He knew what it felt like when nobody tried to understand you. And because of his own experiences, he could see the pain hidden inside others. This became one of his greatest strengths. Naruto and the cycle of hatred. One of the biggest themes in Naruto's story was the cycle of hatred. For generations, people fought because of anger from the past. One person's pain created another person's pain, and that pain continued from one generation to the next. Many characters believed revenge was the only answer. They believed hurting others would somehow heal their own wounds. But Naruto challenged this idea. He believed there had to be another way. Instead of adding more hatred to the world, he wanted to break the cycle. This message became one of the reasons fans connected so deeply with him. Understanding pain. One of the most important moments in Naruto's journey was his encounter with Pain. At first, Pain saw the world through suffering. He believed people could only understand peace after experiencing pain. His past had filled him with anger and disappointment. Many people would have simply fought against him. But Naruto did something different. He listened. He tried to understand. He saw the person behind the enemy, because Naruto knew what it felt like to suffer. He knew what it felt like to be alone, and that emotional connection allowed him to reach someone that others could not. Naruto's greatest power, empathy. Many characters in anime have incredible abilities. They can destroy mountains. They can defeat powerful enemies. They can become unstoppable fighters. But Naruto's greatest ability was something different. It was empathy. His ability to understand people. His ability to see hope when everyone else saw darkness. His ability to believe someone could change. This was the reason he became so respected. Because Naruto did not only win battles. He changed lives. The people Naruto inspired. Throughout the series, Naruto influenced countless characters. People who once hated him began respecting him. People who had given up started believing again. People who felt alone discovered they were not alone. His actions showed others that their past did not have to control their future. This is what made Naruto different from many heroes. A traditional hero defeats the enemy. Naruto changed the enemy. Why fans connected with this message? The reason fans love Naruto is because his story is not only about ninjas. It is about people. It is about emotions. It is about struggles everyone understands. Everyone has experienced moments of loneliness. Everyone has faced disappointment. Everyone has wanted someone to understand them. Naruto's message was powerful because it reminded people that kindness still matters. Even in difficult times. Even when the world feels unfair. Naruto became the person he needed as a child. The most beautiful part of Naruto's journey is that he became the person he needed when he was younger. As a child, Naruto wanted someone to believe in him, someone to support him, someone to tell him he mattered. And as he grew older, he became that person for others. He gave people hope because he knew exactly what it felt like to have none. His loneliness became his greatest lesson. His pain became his greatest strength. The hero everyone needed. Naruto was not loved because he was unbeatable. He was loved because he cared. He showed that strength is not only about power. Real strength comes from protecting others, from forgiving people, from continuing to believe even when things are difficult. That is why Naruto became more than just an anime character. He became an inspiration. Naruto's journey was never only about becoming Hokage. It was about becoming someone who could change the world. A lonely child who was once rejected became the person who brought people together. But there is still one final reason why Naruto became one of the most loved characters in anime history. The reason millions of fans still see themselves in him today. After hundreds of episodes, countless battles, and years of storytelling, one question still remains. Why does everyone love Naruto Uzumaki? Why did a character from an anime series become an inspiration for millions of people around the world? The answer is not because he became the strongest ninja. It is not because he defeated powerful enemies. It is not even because he achieved his dream of becoming Hokage. The real reason people love Naruto is because his story represents something everyone understands: the desire to be accepted, the courage to keep fighting, and the belief that no matter how difficult life becomes, people can still change. Naruto was never just a ninja. He was a symbol of hope. Naruto was a hero everyone could relate to. Many fictional heroes begin their stories as talented individuals. They are special from the beginning. They are admired immediately. But Naruto's story started in the opposite way. He was the kid nobody expected anything from. He was the person people underestimated. He was the one who had to fight for every bit of respect he earned. That made his journey feel different. Fans did not connect with Naruto because he was already great. They connected with him because they watched him become great. They experienced every failure, every struggle, every moment when he wanted to give up but continued anyway. The importance of believing in yourself. One of Naruto's biggest messages was the importance of self-belief. At the beginning, Naruto wanted the village to recognize him. But as his journey continued, he learned something even more important. The first person who needed to believe in him was himself. He learned that his value was not decided by other people's opinions. It was not decided by his mistakes. It was not decided by his past. This message connected with fans because everyone faces moments of doubt. Everyone has moments when they question themselves. Naruto reminded people that they are capable of more than they think. Naruto's strength was his heart. Naruto became powerful, but his greatest strength was never just his fighting ability. His greatest strength was his heart. He cared about people. He protected his friends. He believed in those who had lost hope. Even when others gave up on someone, Naruto searched for a reason to believe in them. That quality made him different. Because in many stories, characters become stronger by becoming colder. Naruto became stronger by caring more. Why Naruto's story is different. The reason Naruto remains popular years after the series began is because the story contains emotions that never become outdated. Loneliness, friendship, failure, dreams, family, hope. These are experiences everyone understands. You do not have to be a ninja to understand Naruto. You only need to know what it feels like to struggle, what it feels like to chase something important, what it feels like to want someone to believe in you. Naruto and the meaning of friendship. Another reason fans love Naruto is because of the importance he placed on friendship. For Naruto, people were never disposable. He refused to abandon those he cared about. Even when situations seemed impossible, he continued fighting for his friends. This created some of the most emotional moments in the series. Naruto showed that true strength is not about standing alone. It is about having people worth protecting and becoming someone others can depend on. From rejected child to beloved hero. The most powerful part of Naruto's story is the transformation. The child who was ignored became a leader. The child nobody believed in became someone everyone trusted. The person who searched for acceptance became someone who gave acceptance to others. His journey came full circle. The same village that once rejected him eventually recognized him as their hero. And that moment represented everything Naruto had fought for. Why millions of fans still love Naruto. Naruto became one of the most loved anime characters because he represents the human journey. Nobody starts perfect. Nobody succeeds without struggle. Everyone has challenges. But what matters is the choice to continue. Naruto taught fans that failure is not the end. Pain does not have to make you cruel. And your past does not control your future. You can always grow. You can always improve. You can always become someone better. Final conclusion. So why does everyone love Naruto? Because he was never just a powerful ninja. He was a reminder that lonely people can find connection. A reminder that failures can become victories. A reminder that kindness can be a form of strength. Naruto Uzumaki became a legend because he showed the world something simple but powerful. Anyone can change their destiny. Even the person everyone ignores. Even the person nobody believes in. Even the person who starts with nothing. And that is the real reason fans connected with Naruto. Not because he became the strongest, but because he never stopped believing. Nd. Continue in part 4. The real reason everyone loves Naruto. Why his story became unforgettable. Continue in part 3. How Naruto changed the world around him. The hero who turned enemies into friends. Continue in part 2. The power of never giving up. Why Naruto's determination inspired millions.